Okay, inshallah. So let's let's start our session. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today, inshallah, we are going to discuss about uncertainty. Gharar. Right. This is chapter 9. All right. So last week we discussed about riba, interest, right? And we have said that um the major prohibition, the biggest culprit in Muamalat is number one is riba, right? Interest. And second one is Gharar, uncertainty, right? What is uncertainty? Something that is not certain, right? Something that we don't know. Nobody knows. So in the contract, very simple. If there is any element of uncertainty that nobody knows, nobody means neither the buyer nor the seller, right? Uncertainty in terms of what? Uncertainty in terms of the subject matter, the commodity, the merchandise, right? The quality, the quantity, or anything important that we don't know what we are going to buy. We don't know what we are going to sell, right? We don't know what is the commodity, what is the asset, what is the things that we are discussing, right? So, number one, uncertainty regarding the asset itself. Uncertainty regarding the price. We don't know how much the price. We don't know in which currency, and no discussion whether the price is on a spot or on credit, right? This is all element of uncertainty. Also uncertainty in terms of the mode of delivery, how to the goods will be delivered, who will pay, where the seller should make delivery of it, right? So uncertainty can comes from any perspective or any side. However, the small uncertainty, the small information, if we don't know, that doesn't matter. That is not an issue. The issue is the big element of uncertainty that may cause to dispute, that may create problem among the contracting parties. Right. For example, the seller wants to get the payment in ringgit, but the buyer wants to get it, or the buyer wants to pay in dollar. So they are disputing. So this is uncertainty, right? So that's why this is the second culprit in the Muamalat, that we don't know whether we can finish this dealing successfully or not. We don't know the subject matter is available somewhere or not. We don't know that whether the seller can make it delivery on time or not. These are the uncertainty, right? So inshallah today we are going to discuss all of these, the definition, the types, and uncertainty has two types: small amount, big amount. Gharar yasir. Yasir means in Arabic is little, right? And gharar fahish. Fahish means the big volume, exorbitant, right? Serious, excessive. And different forms of gharar we discuss, in which area gharar can happen, right? And then we discuss some examples of gharar in the classical and contemporary financial transaction. So as I mentioned, gharar is second major cause of invalidity of a contract, is the second biggest crime, second biggest offense, right? In any product, let's say you come up a new product, there is checklist, whether there is riba or not. No riba, no gharar, no maisir. If there is yes, then the product will not be approved, right? It is an external prohibited attribute. So gharar can come from outside, not from the subject matter itself, not from the price, right? This is called external, some external quality, that subject matter is not available, or subject matter is available, everything is fine, but it is not disclosed, it is not mentioned, right? No proper disclosure. The buyer does not know, the buyer never seen the subject matter. So these are some external matters, right? Yes, scholar might have some different opinion on the essence of gharar, whether it is gharar or not. Scholar might have different opinion. For example, nowadays cryptocurrency. In cryptocurrency, we found two opinion from the scholars, right? Some scholars said no, there is no gharar, everything is fine. But another group of scholars said no, there is gharar. So maybe in certain case, in a specific case, scholar might have different opinion that whether it involves gharar or not. But as long as there is gharar, it is prohibited, right? Like the interest. Some people argue that scholars have different opinion in interest. No, everybody agree that interest is haram. But the disagreement is whether this project involves interest or not. This product got the element of interest or not. So scholar might have different opinion to find the prohibited element in a certain project, in a specific product. But this doesn't mean that scholars have different opinion in the prohibition of the interest, in the prohibition of the gharar, right? So some people might get confused. That's why in the previous session we discussed the misconception, right? The doubt. So one of the doubt that scholar have disagreement in the prohibition of interest, but it is not, right? Nobody did deny that interest is haram, gharar is haram. But the point is, we might have different opinion whether maybe you could see from one angle and you found gharar. Maybe I could see from another dimension, so I found there is no gharar. Like the cryptocurrency, right? One example, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all this. Okay. So what is gharar? Gharar, basically, the literal meaning of gharar is to deceive, fraud, deception. So any kind of deception, any kind of fraud, any kind of misrepresentation, any kind of hiding the information, any forms of non-disclosure that may constitute gharar. Okay, that may happens to gharar. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ, in one hadith prohibited the sale of gharar. Naha an bay'il gharar. So what is bay'ul gharar? The sale of gharar means all the contracts that includes any sort of cheating, fraud, misrepresentation, manipulation, hiding information. This is all constitute the form of gharar. Okay. So as a terminology, as a technical term, for example, Imam As-Sarakhsi, he gives a definition that where the consequence of a transaction is unknown. Right? It's very brief and nice definition. He mentioned that gharar means something that we don't know the ultimate result, whether we could succeed or not. Right? Whether finally the transaction happens or not. Right? So is uncertain about the outcome. Imam Ibn Hazm said, Gharar, he gives simple definition. Gharar in sales where the purchaser does not know what he has bought and the seller does not know what he has sold. Right? So exactly in cryptocurrency, when people invest, they do not know how the price goes increasing, continuously increasing suddenly, or how the price is decreasing suddenly. What is the underlying mechanism of price increasing and decreasing? Is there any calculation? Is there any real life transaction? No. So it's all kind of sort of gambling and gharar. So I don't know what I'm going to buy and you don't know what you are going to sell. This is gharar. So let's say you buy something that you never saw it. You didn't provided any description, any brochure, any picture. So then what you are going to order, you are going to buy? Don't know. What you are going to sell? Don't know. So this is exactly happening in investment in cryptocurrency and structured token and so on, right? So Ibn Abidin, another Hanafi scholar, mentioned Gharar is uncertainty about the existence of the subject matter of sale. This is also another clear example, clear definition that the existence, whether this is available or not, we don't know, right? So this is also Gharar. So we found overall the same meaning. Gharar is uncertainty about the existence, uncertainty about making the delivery on time, uncertainty that the purchaser does not know what he is going to buy and the seller does not know what he is going to sell. Right. So there is another term is called jahala. Gharar also something we do not know. Jahala also means ignorance, something that the buyer and seller does not know or do not know. Right. So what is the difference, Gharar and Jahala? Gharar is a big, at the highest level of crime, if we can say. Jahala is the lowest level, right? So if there is Gharar, the contract is batal, right? Invalid. But if there is Jahala, then we have to see whether this Jahala is the volume of Jahala, is it high or is it low? Does it lead to the dispute and problem among the contracting parties, or it is just simple jahala, can be tolerated, right? So not all jahala makes the contract invalid. If jahala that leads to dispute, that only makes the contract invalid, right? The simple jahala can be tolerated, right? So jahala means the lack of knowledge about the species of an object, event, or action in spite of knowledge about its occurrence, right? Sometimes when we do online shopping, right, jahala can happen. We might see, sorry, we might see the picture and we might know that, well, yes, the item is available, but sometimes we don't know the actual size. We cannot imagine. Sometimes we imagine it is looks very big, but when we receive, it is quite small, right? And also many other things. So this jahala can be considered little jahala, a little amount that can be tolerated. That does not make the contract invalid, right? So the occurrence is known, is certain. That's why it is jahala. If the occurrence is unknown, then it will become gharar, right? So gharar means we do not know whether the item is already exist or not. But jahala is we know the item is there, but maybe we do not know some details of the item, some small quality or some small point we do not know. That is jahala, right? So jahala is a lower level of ignorance. Gharar is the highest level of ignorance, right? So this is very clear. The gharar concept is very wide, right? But jahala is a type of gharar. Its concept is very narrow. Means a small part also can be form jahala. The important thing, gharar is associated with the existence or non-existence of the object, right? So we are confused whether it is available or not. But jahala is not like that. Jahala is quantitative or qualitative uncertainty. Maybe we know the item is there, but we don't know how much. We don't know what is the actual size or what is the actual color, right? So this sort of thing uh, constitute jahala, not gharar, right? So every gharar that invalidates an exchange contract is necessarily a jahala, right? So all the gharar will be also jahala. But every jahala that invalidates the contract is necessarily a gharar, right? Not every gharar that invalidates contract is jahala. The gharar can come from another side as well. Jahala on only one part of the gharar. If jahala is very high level, so it is only one part of gharar. But every jahala that invalidates the gharar invalidates the contract is necessarily a gharar. So what is the difference? Jahala, if it is small, it is not similar as gharar. If it is very big, it makes the contract invalid, then it will be similar to the gharar, right? I hope you understand the difference between jahala and gharar. Okay? So every jahala that makes the contract invalid is gharar, but not every gharar is jahala, because gharar can be from another dimension. Jahala is only one dimension of gharar. Okay. So after giving definition and difference between jahala and gharar, now we discuss the types of gharar. Gharar is two types. Gharar yasir. Yasir means small amount, immaterial. Is okay. Yasir means can be tolerated. And then gharar fahish, exorbitant. Exorbitant means it's not tolerable, right? It's very huge. So gharar yasir, number one, this type of gharar is tolerated and will not invalidate a contract. Means the contract is okay, no problem, small gharar. For example, using public toilet with the payment, right? When we use tandas awam, we have to pay, right? Renting a house with monthly payment. When we rent a house, for example, I rented this house, so I have to pay every month, right? Warranty service with a purchase of car or anything. If you buy a car, they will give you a warranty, right? If you buy another important or expensive item, they will give you warranty. So these are three examples of gharar yasir. Now my question is to you, where is the gharar here? Using public toilet with payment, is there any gharar? And renting a house, what is the gharar here? Warranty service, what is the gharar? Even though, yes, we mention here this is gharar yasir, but what is the gharar? Can anyone try to give answer? Can anyone try? Cannot know the money being used for what purpose? No, not exactly. We know that because I am using public toilet, that's why I have to pay. I'm renting the house, that's why I have to pay the rental. Yes, we got a correct answer. The gharar can happen about the quantity of the water, Some people needs a huge amount of water. For some people, a small amount of water is enough. So maybe the price is the same, 1 ringgit or 2 ringgit, right? But there is no specific amount of water. So this is also gharar. But this one little gharar is okay. Right, nice try. This is the correct answer. Okay. Any other things for these three examples? Any other answer? Anyone can try? Okay. So same goes to the second example, renting a house with monthly payment. So we do not know the volume of utilization of the house, how many people stay in the house, how many room will be occupied, right? Maybe a small family, but the house is 3 rooms, so another 2 rooms is not using. Sometimes a big family, but a small house, so it's overloading, right? So these are the gharar, because the subject matter is what? The utility of the house, the utilization of the house, right? So the amount of utilization is quite uncertain. But this one, okay, tolerated because this is a small amount. Like goes to the how much water and how many times you stay. Some people needs longer time. So this one also in the applicable in the public toilet, right? Warranty service, same. Sometimes we need to apply warranty service. Sometimes the item is fine, no issue, so we do not apply. So there is uncertainty whether we need to apply or we do not need to apply. But still, this is okay, no, right? Because this item, this form of gharar is yasir, a little bit. Okay. So these are small amount is available in our daily transaction, but it's okay, it's fine. All right. Second type, exorbitant gharar, gharar fahish. Gharar fahish cannot be tolerated. It is prohibited. It is haram, right? Because it makes the contract invalid, batil. For example, selling fruits on the tree before ripen. The fruits is still at a very early stage, right? So we do not know whether it comes to the end or not. Anything could happen in the middle, right? So as long as it appears still very young, still very early stage, we cannot sell it, right? Selling fruits on the tree before ripen, before harvesting, right, or before reaching at the end is haram, right? Like selling fish in the sea. Oh, I want to sell you fish, whatever in the sea. Is this what South China Sea? So invalid. Yes, after I fishing it, then I can sell it only because the amount is certain. But now I do not know how much fish available in this area, and it's not belong to me yet. I don't have ownership on that. So this is gharar fahish. Right? So gharar fahish is haram, right? Makes the contract invalid. There are some condition. Number one, the element of gharar is too abundant. The volume of the gharar is huge, right? For example, again, the example of cryptocurrency, some scholars say, yes, there is gharar, but it is okay. It's a small amount. Some scholars said, no, it is fahish. Now the question is, how do you calculate? So no mathematical formula to calculate. So it depends on your understanding, on your apprehension, on your comprehension, right? So on your observation, some scholars observe that it is still in at a very early stage, no regulation, nothing is sure, everything is uncertain, so the amount is very huge. But other scholars said no, it's fine, especially those who tech savvy, who are familiar with the technology. They said no, it's fine, it can handle, even though there is gharar, but it is yasir, not fahish, right? So this is number one. To make the contract invalid, the element should be too abundant, too huge. Number two, element of gharar in the contract of exchange, right? Um, Contract of exchange, like selling, buying, lease, and so on. But contract of donation, wasiya, hiba, no problem. Sadaqat, so there is no application of gharar because there is no dispute. There is no claim from another side because this is donation. Okay, I'm saying I want to give you some donation, but you don't have right to ask me how much because this is donation, no claim. But when I'm going to you sell something, then you have right to ask how much the price, right? That's why the exchange contract of exchange, uqud muawadat, the gharar is applicable there, right? Number three, element of gharar in the asal, in the original, not in the subsequent tabi, right? Means the primary item, not the secondary item. For example, when you are going to buy an animal, so your purpose is to focus on the animal, not to the milk, right? So whether the milk is the animal gives milk a huge amount or a small amount, that doesn't matter because that is tabi. But the asal is animal itself, right? So this is the example of asal and tabi. So sometime, for example, the house, you are going to buy a house. So maybe in the house there are many other items, small items, but that doesn't matter whether you know or not because you focus on the house itself. Sometimes for the house, some people focus on the location of the house because location sometimes location has impact on the price. Location affects on the price. So maybe the price goes up because of location. That's why the location should be there should not be any element of gharar. Sometimes the price focus depends on the interior or exterior, the design itself. So whatever is the focus point, that is the asal. So that should be uh, made everything clear. There should not be any gharar. Any other small part that comes automatically subsequently, that is called tabi'i. So that tabi, there is no gharar. Now the gharar is not applicable there, right? Okay. The contract does not reach the level of haja. Let's say a contract that becomes necessary for the people. Every people used to it, right? No choice. They cannot run away. For example, like now people using credit card, salam, istisna. These are the some contract that everybody used to do it. So if something that reach at the level of haja, right, that is called also umum balwa, that everybody involved with this cannot run away easily. So in that case, even though there is some element of gharar, but that gharar is accepted. So in order to apply the gharar, the contract should not be reached at the level of haja. Because when anything reach at the level of haja, then the gharar should be tolerated. Otherwise, it will brings hardship and difficulties for the people, right? Okay. So I already explained the condition. There are some other things. Element of gharar is too abundant, no specific guideline. because no formula, as I mentioned. It depends on the custom, on the people's practice, understanding, observation, perception, and so on. Right? The element of Gharar dominates the contract, can be seen apparently in the contract. It brings to hostility among the contracting parties. So that is the point we can apply, that whether it is very clear, apparently it is seen. For example, I invest this night in the cryptocurrency. Tomorrow suddenly it becomes $100, $200. So the Gharar is very clear. How suddenly the price goes up overnight? So this is very clear. It is Gharar. There is something, right? So if the Gharar dominates or can be seen apparently, it is very clear, then it will be abandoned. It will be Gharar Fahish. Also, it brings hostility, dispute among the contracting parties. Everybody is bargaining on it. Everybody wants to get it. Everyone is fighting for that. So it means it is something very sensitive and crucial. That's why there should not be any uncertainty. So if uncertainty happens on any element that everybody is fighting to get it, then it will constitute Gharar, Gharar Fahish. Okay. Number two is clear, the exchange, the Gharar should be in the exchange contract. Right. So Muslim scholar unanimously opine means everybody agree that Gharar does not have any effect on the will contract, on the donation, on hiba, on wasiyat, on sadaqat. There is no issue of Gharar. Right. Number three, already I mentioned asal and tabi. For example, selling a cattle with milk in the udder. So the focus on the cattle, not the milk. The purchase of a house on the land that is unknown of its condition. So the land focus or the house focus? Which one? Is up to the buyer and seller. If the house is very not very fashionable, not very good, because house doesn't matter. I want the piece of land, because I will demolish the house and I will build up an apartment or multi-story building or a condominium. That's why the land is important for me. So in that case, I focus on the land. So any element of Gharar in the land, the contract becomes invalid. So this is the focus point. So in that case, the land is the asal, the house is the tabi. If sometimes the house is the asal, then the land, forget it. As long as the house is there, is okay. Right. So this is the point, asal and tabi. So Gharar always follows the asal, not the tabi. Okay. And the contract doesn't reach the level of need. For example, Hawala contract, remittance, salam, forward sale, istisna manufacturing contract. These people used to do it. Right. So if we say there is Gharar, then we stop it. So people will face the difficulty and hardship. That's why even though there is a small amount of Gharar, but still it is fine. It is accepted. Okay. So these are four conditions for Gharar. Right. These are the four conditions of Gharar Fahish. To abandon the Gharar in the exchange contract. And number three, the Gharar in the Asal, not in the Tabi. And number four, the Gharar or the contract that does not reach at the level of Haja. Right. Okay. So I hope you understand. So far, is there any question? Is there anything you want to ask? Understand? Okay. Anyone? Does have any question? All right. Okay, now we may discuss different forms of gharar, right? How gharar can happen. For example, gharar can relate to the siga. Remember, siga is the pillar of the contract, right? Offer and acceptance. So offer and acceptance also should be clear. For example, two sell in one. I sell you this commodity for 100 ringgit on cash and for 150 on credit. So the buyer say, I accept it. So you accepted which one? On cash or on credit? You have to specify. If this is an offer, right? This is an offer. On cash, this amount, on credit, that amount. But the reply is just, I accepted. It is gharar. You accepted which one? You have to specify. So this gharar come from the siga, from the format, right? The arbun is earnest money sale. Arbun means like the down payment. So, so this down payment will be considered as a part of the payment or not. That should be clearly discussed, right? Otherwise, it will be gharar, right? The seller will say, "Oh, no, I thought this is not part of the payment." The buyer said, "No, I already paid, so I consider this one a part of the payment." Now that amount will be deducted from the price, right? So this is gharar, and this kind of sale is invalid by the majority scholar. So this cannot be sale, cannot be exchange unless it is clearly discussed. Contingent sale, conditional sale. I sell you my house if Mr. A sold his house to me. So I'm not sure whether Mr. A will sold the house to you or not. So cannot make like this. I sell you my car if my friend Mr. Y sell his car to me. So cannot be like that contract. Conditional contract is involve gharar, right? So the offer and acceptance should be clear and should not involve any gharar, any uncertainty, any ambiguity. Contract effective from future date, it is invalid, right? Future date, this is not contract, this is just a promise. You say, okay, I will buy your house, let's say next month. So is it already I bought it? No, contract is not happen. I just gives my word. It is a promise, kind of promise. So this involves gharar. That's why we mentioned right in the chapter 3 or 4 that contract offer should be past tense or present tense, not future tense, because future is uncertain. Right? Rather relating to the subject matter, the genes, the kind. I sell you an item for 10. What item? A book, a pen, a pencil, a laptop? Not sure. So this is gharar. Unspecified attribute, the quality, the description, details is also gharar. Hanafi school say description of subject matter is not necessary as long as it is present to the right of inspection is established. Description of subject matter is obligatory. So the point is we cannot buy or we cannot sell unless we saw the item or the item is available in the contracting session or the description is provided, the picture is provided and so on. Right. Now the point is if the item already available in the contracting session, you already saw the item, then do I need to provide the necessary details or not? Description is necessary or not? So some scholars said as long as the item is available in front of your eye, you can see that, you can touch it, So no need to provide the details. But some other scholars say that it is necessary. So to me, it is necessary. For example, this laptop in front of me, but maybe I don't know much well about the laptop. I don't know how to check the the processor, how to check the RAM, how to check other things. So the seller should provide the details of the laptop. Even though the laptop is available in the contracting session, I can see it. Whatever, whether you see it or you provided the details, you have been provided the details, uh, it should be known. Otherwise, it will be constitute gharar, right? Okay. Gharar also related to the quantity of the object, like how much. For example, the buy al-muzabana, sale of fresh date on the farm against harvested dry date. The Prophet prohibited that, let's say you have date on the tree and you have date in the house, it's dry, and on the tree it is green and young, fresh, right? So in Medina, people used to exchange the fresh date with the dry date, but the Prophet prohibited that because the dry date, even though this is 1 kg, right, but it does not equal to the 1 kg of the fresh date, because fresh date when it becomes dry, so the quantity will be reduced. One fresh date could become half or less than half of dry date. So the quantity is uncertain, right? That's why the fresh date on the tree cannot be exchanged with the dry date that already you have in the house. Understand? Why people do that? Used to do that because sometimes the farmer might not have anything to eat, right? That's why he wants to sell his fresh date earlier to get some dry date to eat now. Because in Medina, people used to eat the dates, right? So that's the Prophet prohibited this, but he allow certain amount that for the emergency. Let's say I can harvest my date until 2 months, after 2 months or after 1 month. So this 1 month, I need 5 kg dates for my family. So the Prophet allow in 5 kg date because it is emergency for me, because I don't have anything to eat now. That's why I have to sell my date earlier now to get the something to eat now. Right. This is called ariya, araya. Right. This is in Arabic called ariya. Ariya means an emergency quantity of the day that a family or a person needs to survive. Right. And in that amount, the Prophet allow to exchange the fresh date on the tree with the dry date in the house. Right. This is called bayul muzabana. Muzabana zha, mim zha, muzabana. Muzabana means selling the fresh date on the tree against harvested dry date. I hope you understand. Okay. Why basically muzabana is not allowed? Because of the gharar in the quantity. Right. Gharar also can come to a specification of the object. For example, selling a sheep out of a herd without a specification. You saw a herd of the sheep. So you say, okay, I want to buy a sheep from your herd. But every sheep is different. Which one you buy? Okay, for example, let's say a car lot of used car, the old car, right? So we discussed before that every used car is different, right? Used car is non-fungible as item. So you cannot say, okay, I want to buy an used car from your lot with 10,000 ringgit. Cannot. You have to specify which one, because every used car has different value, right? So this is the gharar happens from the specification of the object. You have to specify. All right. Gharar related to the time of performance. Selling on credit without specifying the payment date. Allah mentioned what? Iza tadayantum bidainin ila ajalin musamma. When you sell on credit, you have to specify a maturity date for 1 month or for 2 months or 3 months, like that. Otherwise, it will be gharar. Uncertainty regarding the existence of the object. Yes, this is the bigger one, gharar fahish. The sale of a fetus. The sale of fetus, for example, you want to buy a fetus of an animal, so you cannot buy it unless it comes out, because we do not know what is going on inside, whether it comes in a good situation, good condition or not, right? So selling a fetus is like uncertainty in the existence, right? Okay. However, things which existence in certain in future are permissible. Yes, something that is not now, but we can, for example, the manufacturing contract. You order something to manufacture, so we are sure that he will manufacture it and he can make it delivery on time. That is okay, right? That is we discuss in the subject matter. Remember, subject matter. The condition is existence. So existence, not only actual existence. Sometimes existence also refer to the certainty on the delivery. So even though the goods is not ready now, for example, a laptop you order, then company will manufacture. So they will make delivery on time. So that is fine. Even though when you make order and you pay, the laptop is not yet to exist. The laptop is not available yet. Right. So they will manufacture it for you and they will make delivery. So that is fine. That is fine. That doesn't mean uncertainty on the existence. Okay. Gharar also relating to the delivery of the object. Sale of car which is stolen. If you sell a stolen car, so not sure whether you can make it delivery or not. So whatever, this is not a good example, I think. So gharar, if delivery is uncertain, it also constitute gharar, right? So these are the some example that gharar can happen. How does gharar happen in the contract, in the dealings, in muamalat? Okay. So far we discussed about the technical meaning of gharar, types, definition, examples. So in the modern definition, as I mentioned at the beginning, that in modern definition, any form of deception, any form of hiding information, any form of non-disclosure can be considered gharar. Therefore, gharar includes deception, in Arabic called khadi'a, misrepresentation, in Arabic called ghubun, artificial price increase, like speculation, speculating in that stock market and try to increase the price artificially, or like try to influence the demand side in the market to create artificial demand, right? So this is called najash, because this is also a form of deception, because the demand is not there, but you are creating artificial demand to make the price increased. Okay. So in modern definition, the gharar can include any form of deception, any form of misrepresentation, manipulation, artificial price increasing can be also considered gharar. Okay. Yes, gharar also risk, right? However, systematic risk, which is business risk, is okay, but excessive risk is gharar and also maisir. But yes, business has got risk, but that risk is normal. But abnormal risk is gharar. That's why some those who say the cryptocurrency is halal, permissible, they try to say that this is not gharar, this is khatar. Khatar means risk, right? So Ibn Taymiyyah, scholar Ibn Taymiyyah has an opinion or a quotation who said that gharar has two types. One is systematic or business risk, and another one is excessively, which is gharar. Right? Sharia takes on the prohibition of gharar. The Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned what? Do not eat up your property among yourself for vanity, for injustice. Not use it as bite for the judges. وَلَا تُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ. It means don't use the wealth unjustly, right? In a way that you are using your wealth to enjoy other people's money unjustly. But it means don't misuse the property, nor use it as bait for the judges, right? So this is gharar, because you are not truly utilizing your property, rather you are utilizing your asset to occupy other people's wealth, right? So this is haram, this is gharar, cheating, right? Deception. The Prophet in the hadith, there are many forms of gharar. The Prophet clearly mentioned the prohibited and haram, right? For example, the Prophet forbidden the purchase of the unborn animal in its mother womb, like sale of fetus, right? He also prohibited the sale of the milk in the udder without measurement, because we don't know how much milk inside, so we cannot sell it before milking, right? The purchase of spoils of war prior to their distribution, the ghanima. The ghanima before distribution is belong to the country, belong to the Baitul Mal. So you cannot buy, you cannot sell it. Yes, once it is distributed and it is given to you, then only you can buy and you can sell. The purchase of charities prior to their receipt. Yes, like sadaqat or anything. For example, a poor person is given something as zakat and sadaqah. So you can purchase it, no problem. If poor guy wants to sell, you can buy. But you can buy only after he receiving the sadaqat, right? Because before receiving, it is not him. It is not belong to him. That's why he cannot sell it. And purchase of the catch of a diver. For example, in Jahiliyyah period, people try to sell, okay, you are diving now, right, into the sea. So whatever you get, I will buy with $1,000. So maybe he gets nothing. Maybe he gets something equal to $5,000. So it is all gharar, right? But people used to do it, right? So there are many other forms also in the hadith. The Prophet mentioned clearly that it is haram. So why gharar is haram? Because it infringes mutual consent. Because we know mutual consent is necessary for buying and selling. So if you sell something that you do not know, or you buy something that you do not know, it means there is your consent is not there. How come you give consent that you do not know? Right. So that's why as long as there is gharar, means there is no mutual agreement. Injustice could happen that lead to the hostility, dispute, protecting the wealth from loss. Because when you buy and sell with gharar, so you might be winner, you might be loser, nobody knows. Right. So these are some wisdom behind prohibition of gharar. Some classical example, for example, bayul hasad. In Jahiliyyah period, people used to sell by throwing a stone. I throw the stone, so whatever item is touched, it will be for me with that amount. For example, let's say any item is 1,000 ringgit. So whatever I touch by throwing the stone, it will be my subject matter. It is crazy, right? It is crazy. I don't know which one I can touch. Munabaza, buy al munabaza, the vendor throws a piece of cloth to the buyer. So the vendor is throwing. So whatever the buyer catch, it will be his subject matter, right? By al-mulamasa, purchase by touching the object of sale. This one touching. Darabat al-ghaish. This one just now I mentioned. Sale conditional what a diver gets. Whenever you dive into the sea, so whatever you get, that is I will buy with 1000 ringgit. So this is all, and many other also other forms the Prophet clearly mentioned, and it is clearly discussed in the hadith that these are the buy and sell contract that involves gharar and that is haram, right? These are some classical examples. We have also some contemporary example. For example, conventional insurance. Conventional insurance that involves riba, gharar and maisir. Where is gharar? In conventional insurance, the gharar happen about the payment of insurance, about the time of payment, about the quantity of the payment. How much you want to pay as a premium, and how much you will get, and whether you will get or not, and when you will get it or not. So all these gharar. Because conventional insurance is designing based on buying and selling. When it is designed, it has been designed on buying and selling exchange contract. So exchange contract cannot tolerate the gharar. But Islamic insurance, they make it not buying and selling. They make it tabarru, donation. That's why even though there is gharar, but that gharar is accepted because of paying donation. Right. So this is the basic difference between conventional and Islamic insurance. Derivatives, financial derivatives, forward and future contract. So just now I mentioned also future contract or forward contract that is considered gharar because that is involves promise, is not the actual contract. So forward contract is an agreement to buy and sell an underlying asset at a certain future time. This contract involves the sale of non-existent object of an object not in the possession of the seller. Sometimes the underlying asset that is not available or underlying asset that does not belong to the buyer and seller. So that's why it involves gharar. Okay. So I think that's all for today. So we discuss the concept of gharar, the meaning, the definition, the types, gharar yasir, gharar fahish, the condition for gharar fahish, and we also discuss many ways how the gharar can happen in the subject matter, in the quality, in the quantity, in the payment, the mode of payment, right? Many I think. And also we discuss the uh, what? The wisdom and also the classical and contemporary examples of gharar. All right. So do you have any question? Yes, yes. Gharar is haram, even though both seller and buyer agree with the transaction. Because even though they agree, but at the end, maybe it will create problem among them. And also, even though they agree, but one party could be winner, another party will be loser. So Islam cannot support this type of contract because it also constitute like gambling. So Islam always prefer the contract that will be level playing situation, win-win situation. You also will enjoy, the I also will enjoy. So that's why as long as it is gharar, it is haram. Although it doesn't matter whether you both of the buyer and seller agree or not. Haram is haram. Right? Interest also haram, right? But even then the seller say, I don't mind to give interest. I may agree. Cannot. Haram is haram. Okay? Claw machine. Yes, claw machine got issue. It is a kind of gambling also. Gharar, gambling and gharar, they have some similarity. Yes. because in claw machine you try many times and maybe suddenly um, when you turn in claw machine they will give the doll or anything else for after certain item, right? Or after certain turn. Let's say they will give after every five try, right? So if you keep trying, maybe you will get one or two, maybe not, right? So I think these type of things should not be practiced by our children. Okay. Any other question? Okay, those who couldn't give the attendance, I already posted the link again. So okay, so if no further question, then okay, we may close the session here. So you may go through the slides and later on the you can listen the recording as well. So any question, anything later on arise, you can ask. Right? All right. So thank you very much, and we may close the session. Subhanakallahumma ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. هذا وبالله التوفيق والهداية. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you very much.